PROception 1200Mbps seating wireless access point. It's available with free delivery directly from freetv.ie. So this is a really powerful unit. It can support up to about 120 users. So the idea of this is that you want to broadcast out a wireless access point over a wide area, and you just want to boom it out, okay? So this is sort of a high-end product, both in terms of, we'll say, the number of users you can put on it, the speeds you can go with it, and the typical applications of this would probably be in a hotel, a bar, but you could use it in household applications as well. If you have a big house and you've just had a weak point and you don't want to have a whole series of boosters, things like that, you come along and say, look, I'm going to take in the signal here and I'm just going to ram it out. Okay, so the design on it's quite good, and we're putting together a series of videos just showing the setup on it, all the rest of it. So the technical setup that will come, other than the physical setup on it, is just basically you have to configure it afterwards once it starts showing up as a hotspot to be able to log in and have a password setting on it, things like that. You probably want to change the password and have something that's both easy to remember and maybe even applicable to where it's being used, something like that. So so this is the basic design. It comes in this outer box here. So it's obviously sort of industrial rather than retail packaging on it, but it's normally being installed by professionals anyway, so that's it. If we flick the unit over here, you'll see there's two elements to it, and I'm just going to take off the base part here. So this is what we'd use and screw directly onto the ceiling. Okay, and once we have that mounted up there, so 4 screws we'll be using here, we can actually just come along, get this, and then just slide it in and it'll catch on the hooks that are on it. So you can just see the hooks there. There's 4 hooks in total there. So the mounting is quite easy on it. So how are we getting the signal in? Well, there's 2 connections here. There's a LAN or there's a PoE connection on it here, but and there's also a DC port here actually, indeed. So if you want to, in certain circumstances, although I can't quite think when it would be, you could actually just have a local power point, add it on and just feed the power directly in on this. And it's actually saying a 12 volt 1.5 amp connection, and it's just a standard type of connection on it. But normally what people will be doing is they'll be feeding in a LAN cable here that'll have a PoE in it already. So the advantage of that is you just find a location, you have this here, and what you're doing is you just need to run your network cable directly up to it. So if we envisage a situation where we have a cable coming in, the first question we're going to have ourselves is, right, we're running the cable into it coming off of our router or switch. So there's 2 things we need there. We need a data signal inside it, and we need the power to power this unit if it's going to be over it. So if we're running off, let's say, a PoE switch, that's perfect. We can just run it directly down and power it in that. If not, we come along here, and as part of the unit here, we have added in by default, or we have the option built into the product of adding in a 48 volt PoE injector here. So these are really good in terms of the design on it. And the basic idea is you feed the LAN in, you just have a power connection on it here. So if you had a non-PoE switch or router, you feed it directly in here, feed the cable directly in, click it in, and then you have a cable coming out that's going to be running over to our Wi-Fi hotspot here. And on the way in, it simply has the data connection. On the way out, it has power and data. So we run it directly over there into here. So all of a sudden, we have the choice of having the injector or running off the PoE switch. And all of a sudden then we have both the data and power there. So in terms of the specs on this, let's say the main competitor probably in the marketplace would be Ubiquiti. We sell quite a lot of products there. And Ubiquiti, I think they have a range for different applications, things like this. But the highest spec of Ubiquiti is roughly the same equivalent as this, but the price point on it is roughly the same as the low spec Ubiquiti. So I think they have a nice point in the marketplace. So maybe look at the other videos that we have in the series there. It'll just show the technical setup of how you get this up and running, and then that's exactly what we need in terms of trying to have this set up, because this is obviously a new product onto the market here, both in terms of this particular unit and PROception themselves. This is really an area they've gone into. So what we're trying to do is just give the maximum level of support so people can see exactly what's involved in it, how easy it is to set it up, and move to a better and lower cost product.